legalize the rural way of life, right? Liberals want to ban, they want to ban your truck. Then they ban our farmers from having rodenticide to go after the gophers that chew up their crops. Then they want to ban the hunting rifle with which that you would go after those gophers. What else do they want to ban?
Fertilizer for the crop.
Fertilizer for your crop. They want to ban your speech. They want to ban pipelines. Basically, what's left? They want to control every part of your life. We want the opposite. I don't want to run your life. I want to run a competent government that stays out of your life so that you can run your own life.
Who does the media think they're fooling? Like legacy media? The way that they portray Pierre Polievre and the Conservatives, it's ludicrous. It's out of control. Anyhow, we've got our friends from Rebel News that are doing an interview with Pierre, so we're going to take a peek at that. But then we're going to look at how legacy media covers Pierre Polievre and his by-election in Battle River Crowfoot. Let's take a look. This first piece is great. The other pieces are not. Legacy media trashes the Conservatives. Let's take a look.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
What are the specific issues in this riding, and how do you plan on advocating for these constituents?
Well, it's pretty unique riding. You think about it, this is Battle River Crowfoot. It's home to the biggest tank farm in Canada, maybe in one of the biggest in North America. So that moves $90 billion of oil. That's for a town of 600 people in Hardisty, but that affects all of the communities across Battle River Crowfoot because there's so many people who work directly or indirectly in oil and gas. So fighting for pipelines, a massive increase in oil and gas production would really make the small towns hum with activity. It'd be more jobs and more opportunity for the youth. So that would be the top one. Second, a rural way of life. You know, the Liberal government is trying to ban the rural way of life by banning gas trucks and cars and hunting rifles, etc. I want to reverse that. Give people the freedom to choose what kind of car or truck they drive, keep their hunting rifles, their firearms. Third, I would say, hearing a lot about immigration. Young people can't find jobs or homes. The population has grown too fast, and people feel like they're being that the government has totally screwed up the entire immigration system to the detriment of our nation. And we need to slow it down, and we need net negative migration over the next several years while our housing, job market, and healthcare catches up with the strains Liberals have put on it. So that's a summary of what I'm hearing across this incredible riding.
As an Alberta MP candidate, how will you better our province's relationship with Ottawa?
Look, I don't know if it's necessarily bettering the relationship with Ottawa. I think it's standing up and fighting for Alberta. Ottawa's been telling Alberta to pay up and shut up for the last 10 years, and we need someone who will stand up and fight back against that attitude. And that's what I'm going to do. The West needs to have fair treatment in Confederation. That means giving our farmers fair treatment. In this trade war, for example, Mr. Carney said nothing and did nothing for the canola farmers until I spoke up about it. You know, yesterday I went out and said, look, it's been days now since the Chinese have announced this new tariff on canola farmers. The Prime Minister had said nothing, even though he'd managed to put out a tweet on International Cat Day. And what do you know, later that afternoon, he said, okay, I'm going to do something on canola. Well, that shows that having a strong national leader amplifying the concerns of local residents in Battle River Crowfoot will be a major advantage. So you can count on me to use my megaphone as leader to fight for oil and gas workers in Hardisty, in Camrose, Consort, Coronation, Castor, and beyond. You can count on me to fight for the prison guards here in Drumheller who are facing death every day from the chaos in the prisons that Liberals have unleashed. You can count on me to fight for the farmers. So having a Pierre Polievre fight for this region in Canada's Parliament as leader of the party will be an enormous advantage for the people.
Now, I think it's fair to say without question that you've been a very effective leader of the official opposition. But then we saw the federal election. There was an unfortunate loss, of course. How do you plan on, making it back to round two? What's the change that you're going to bring so that not only are you going to be a good leader of the official opposition, but a good candidate for a Conservative victory in the next election?
That's a good question. I think we have to focus on, yes, prosecuting the government. We did that very well. We ran Trudeau out of town. We defeated the carbon tax. But I think we also have to make sure that people see the strong government in waiting that we are. We know what to do in government. We need to make sure people see that, both in me and in our caucus team. And that will be the approach we take as we go into the fall session and beyond.
What are your immediate next steps going to be, whether or not you win or lose this by-election?
I'm hoping to win, and my steps will be to gather our forces to prepare for the fall session, to fight for a lot of priorities in our mind. We're going to fight against out-of-control immigration. We're going to fight to bring down the deficit, inflation, and taxes. We will be fighting to unleash our resources by building pipelines, mines, and resource projects, and cracking down on crime, major reforms to lock up criminals and keep our community safe.
Last word to you.
Well, it's just been a privilege. I've been having a hell of a lot of fun, actually, traveling across these rural communities, welcomed at the ranches, the farms, the bronc matches, the rodeos, farmers markets, the Greasy Spoon diners. It's just fun. It's good folks. It's what you see is what you get. Give you the shirt off their back type of people. And I've really enjoyed the last couple of months getting to know this region. And it's been a real blessing. It's been humbling, but in the best possible way.
Oh, yeah. Now we're going to take a peek at some legacy media pieces. Like, they're almost hit pieces on Pierre Polievre. Like, they only talk about him losing his seat, not what's going on, not the fact that the longest ballot committee is trying to sink his ship. All of these wild things. Let's take a look. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is legacy media against the Conservatives? It would seem so to me. Let's take a look.
As he campaigned in this rural Alberta riding, Conservative Party leader Pierre Polievre told voters he'd be an effective MP because of his high profile.
That leader can bring a very powerful megaphone to the local issues of the community.
He needs this by-election victory on Monday after losing his Ottawa area seat in the April election.
Thanks for coming out. Really appreciate you guys coming out.
He is likely to win. Battle River Crowfoot is solidly Conservative, but this political scientist says his victory must be decisive.
Nobody has won this riding by less than 70%. In the last election, it was almost 83%. He definitely needs to be closer to 83 than to 70% if he's going to avoid exaggerating the questions about his leadership.
Though some voters seem to worry that a national leader who's new to the riding wouldn't be focused on their issues.
Not having a local person is a big deal to smaller communities where it matters if they show up.
While others say there may be a benefit.
If something needs to happen in his riding, there's better political pressure.
One complicating factor, 214 candidates are on the ballot. Once again, a group that's pushing for electoral reform has stacked the ballot in protest. So for the first time in Canadian history, Elections Canada is using a blank ballot. Voters will handwrite the name of their preferred candidate in a blank space, rather than mark an X beside their name.
That might just be too much of a hurdle for them to overcome, and they may decide, well, he's probably going to win anyway, I don't need to turn up.
Elections Canada warns results will take longer than usual to compile and report. To speed things up, ballots will be counted starting 2 hours before polls close.
Oh, yeah. You must see what I see there. Like, they're always taking pot shots at Pierre. CTV does the same thing. Let's look.
In Battle River Crowfoot, the Conservative Party is like an unstoppable train.
There's a reason he picked this specific riding, and that is the safest Conservative riding in the country.
For 20 years, Conservatives have won the riding with at least 80% of the vote, only once in 2021 slipping to 71%. Pierre Polievre is expected to continue the winning ways in a by-election Monday, after the former MP stepped down following Polievre's loss in his former Carleton riding this spring. But a win here would be just the beginning.
He's got to reassure at least a sizable number of those who weren't convinced last time when they had the chance to pick that he is able to be prime minister.
Polievre will face a leadership review from Conservative members in Calgary this January. Conservatives have publicly supported Polievre, crediting him for growing their seat count and party membership.
The reason we weren't flat-footed was because of the support and the coalition that Pierre built. And so without Pierre, I don't believe that will continue.
But individual polling shows Mark Carney far ahead of the Conservative leader. And some say Polievre needs to show a new face and fresh ideas if he wants to ensure his political comeback lasts more than a few months.
It appears to be a one-trick pony. And that worked really well against an unpopular prime minister and an unpopular tax. But they're not there now. And he's already losing some of that coalition base.
So far, Polievre's criticism of the prime minister has focused on not moving fast enough, either when dealing with Donald Trump or building up Canadian trade and energy.
Oh, yeah. It's not that it's just weird that they do this to Pierre Polievre, but it's corruption, guys. Like, they're trying to corner us and put everybody in the same position, thinking the same things. It's preposterous. It's frustrating to watch too if you're paying attention, like, to what the real issues are. Anyhow, my name's Aaron. Thank you very much for watching this video. Good luck, Pierre, tonight in the by-election there in Battle River Crowfoot. That's it. We're out. Aaron, Canadian Looney. We're going to end this with some streeters that Rebel News did. They're great. CBC, CTV, legacy media does not do this kind of thing. Like, they don't want to know what real Canadians think. Not at all. But here we go, Rebel News, man. Check out their channel. It's amazing. They're great. Let's go.
What are the issues that you experience in the Battle River Crowfoot area?
Well, we have a major housing. We have it's hard to get a job because of the immigrant influx. We've got infrastructure problems. We've got a lot.
Really the same issues as the rest of Alberta, just being completely ignored by the federal government.
I'm from 40 years in the oil field, and since as soon as the Liberals got in NDP/, if I can say that, I haven't worked since. So when the Conservatives are in, everybody works. And when they're not, it's selectively who's going to work or not.
What faces all Albertans, I think, is we just I don't feel that Alberta is heard and represented as well in Eastern Canada, and that people kind of don't like us. Maybe they think we're too redneck, but a huge amount of money comes from us. And if we can't do the gas and the oil properly, then all of Canada is going to suffer, especially with Trump down there, because he's making all of Canada hurt. So we need Alberta to be strong. And for Alberta to be strong, we need somebody in the out east that actually understands and likes Alberta.
How do you feel about Pierre Polievre? He's going to be running to be your candidate for the Battle River Crowfoot area.
Well, I think we're pretty honored to have a Conservative leader that's representing our area. I'm kind of surprised a lot of people consider it like a by-election when the Conservatives hold the seat, and gave up the seat only for Pierre to be in the House to represent us.
First of all, I'm a separatist, so I really believe that Alberta should separate. And people wonder, why would I support Polievre, which I do support him, because even if we did separate, the referendum vote won't be till 2026, and we still need somebody in Parliament that'll like Alberta better than the people out east. And maybe if Pierre gets in, maybe we won't separate as quickly as we will. I still believe we're going to separate, but I think Pierre might make us happier and we don't separate as fast.
Give him all the credit in the world. He's a good man, and we'll take him. And if he wants to run here, he can run here. And I like the guy. I'm not a liberal guy, and I think he'll do a good job.
I think we need him to come in and be a part of the grassroots for sure. That's definitely a big step in the right direction. But in the long term, I think right now we need more of a connection between federal and local ridings like ours. We need that connection. So the only way to get that is obviously with him, and hopefully he can do both. I'm really hoping so.
I'm torn because Pierre will be good for us. However, Damien was amazing for us. Amazing. It's going to be hard shoes to fill.
How do you feel about the notion that Pierre Polievre, he lost in Ottawa, riding is held forever, and then as soon as he lost, he decided, and the Conservative Party decided that he was just going to be parachuted into an Alberta riding? How do you feel about that?
Every single party does that. Look at what they did with the Liberals, and I forget the man, and they kicked him out of his seat, or maybe he resigned, or they asked him politely, and they put somebody else. Every single political party does that, so it doesn't bother me in the least bit.
Except for the provincial NDP.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah.
Well, and how do you feel about that? Having likely voted for Damien, to have resignation there just for Pierre Polievre to come in.
Well, I understand why, and I respect him for it. A lot of people are upset about it, but I get it. It's part of the game.
Even if he wins this by-election, should he remain the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada?
Sure, I have other picks personally, but
who do you think would be good?
Damien would be great. Larry Brock would be amazing.
I don't see much future if he isn't.
I think it's good to keep him where he is. So if we have to elect him to keep him in Parliament, I think that's very important.
Do you think that having a leader of the official opposition being a member of Parliament in Alberta is going to give the province more sway in the federal government?
I hope so, and I hope he gives back to the riding that keeps him in.
Unfortunately, no. Damien's he's on top of it. He's an amazing man.
Oh, it definitely will be, because we got some issues in Alberta here compared to Eastern Canada, and they take advantage of us too much. And it's time for Alberta to step up, and we got to get stuff going here. And to Eastern Canada to listen to us.
If there was like a one main point that you want your member of Parliament to advocate for in Parliament, what would that be?
Stop the immigration. That's simple.
Well, that's an easy one. Transparency.
Help us with our infrastructure issues, getting our products to, Tidewater and where they need to be. Pierre talks about it all the time, like pipelines and getting products to market, right? Everything that the Liberals have been ignoring for the past 10 years.
Man, it's time to start respecting Alberta and show support what we need.
Take Alberta's concerns seriously. That we are really angry, but we're still able to negotiate. We don't hate the rest of Canada. We're just angry. And if we had somebody in there that actually listened to Alberta and took our complaints seriously and tried to negotiate or make things easier, I think would help all of Canada, not just Alberta.
For the last I think it's been 7 weeks. I've been traveling around working with Pierre, and when Danielle and I made the decision to offer to resign in order to trigger this by-election, we were confident that this man here needs to be Prime Minister of Canada.
You were the MP for this area. Now you've surrendered that, obviously, to Pierre Polievre, but you do plan on returning to be this MP. Is that going to be the next time around, or how long are we going to wait?
Yeah, Pierre's asked that I be on the ballot in Battle River Crowfoot in the next election, so not sure exactly what that looks like yet, but I was proud to represent. This is my home. This is the region that I represented, and when in the aftermath of the election, it was an opportunity to lead by example. Politicians talk the talk. I've seen Pierre walk the walk, and I know Danielle and I believe that it was the right choice to make sure that Pierre can keep fighting for the values that are near and dear to our hearts in East Central Alberta. He's been fighting for those same values his entire career in Parliament, and I know will be an incredible Prime Minister, and it was a practical way that we could ensure that he can continue that fight.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. Congratulations, you're spending more money on taxes than on food, clothing, and shelter combined.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein? More than just elbows.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Anyhow, what are you going to do? trying to keep you informed. Aaron Canadian Looney trying to hit 30,000 subs. Help me get there. Thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Later, gang.